Hi, this is Kevin Billett from The Journey. Welcome once more to our inquiries as to how we can dive in more deeply and respond more healthily to the crisis that is taking place in the world at the moment. You may have noticed during these tumultuous times that very often you react in old ways, ingrained ways, almost like habitual or autopilot ways to the stresses in life. It's like we're readable, predictable in so many different ways. One of the reasons we do this is that old traumas, old fears have become stuck in our bodies, and we're responding not to current circumstances, but to old circumstances. Cell memories from long ago are being triggered in us. So for today's inquiry, we have a process that's been borrowed from neuro-linguistics and adapted to be really easy to use. It's called a Phobia Cure. It will allow you to uncover some old memory that scared you, caused you to shut down or to brace against life, and will allow you to free that, to really healthily recondition a deep part of your brain called the limbic system. It's a process that uses humor, so I need your permission here to be funny and to really kind of play like a child with a lot of humor during the process. So please give me that permission. Just let go, play like a child. It is a deeply healing process to do. Will allow you to move forward with different resources, in some ways quite transformed, definitely more resourceful in life. So enjoy the process, have fun, and I'll see you for the next session. Thank you. Namaste. And here is the Phobia Cure process. The Phobia Cure we have borrowed and adapted from classic Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Is a very useful process to change our references to some trauma or fearful event that has taken place in the past and caused us to shut down to fears, caused us to lock. It's been proven that this beautiful process can de-stress the limbic system, so deep unconscious part of the brain, and give us more emotional resources going forward. And for this process, I need your permission to use some humor. So please allow me to use some humor with you in relation to some memories that have taken place in the past. I'm going to be a bit silly here, so please be ready for me to be childlike and hopefully quite funny. And so, first of all, find a nice, comfortable position in which you can safely sit and close your eyes and just relax for a little while here with me. And so make yourself comfortable. That's it. Let the body relax. Close your eyes and take a nice long deep breath in and all the way out to the end of the breath. And a second fresh long deep breath in and all the way out to the end of the breath, relaxing as you do. Slowing down your breathing like this, full deep breaths. Letting each breath draw you deeper inside, cause you to relax. That's it. And inviting the mind to just unwind here, to loosen up so we can play a little bit. It's perfectly safe. That mind can unwind like a ceiling fan whose power has been switched off at the wall. It can slow right down and just come to rest. You can stay open in your being, and we can just explore and play a little bit with some old memory or memories here. And so in your mind's eye here, if you would, just welcome a mentor. This can be a sage, a saint, a presence of wisdom, divine being, someone you know, someone you've read about or learned about, or someone born from your own imagination. This is a presence of wisdom and safety. Maybe an enlightened presence. Definitely someone in whose awareness you can just rest and trust. Beautiful. And so, thanking the mentor for being here, and then letting the mentor show you that there is a doorway. He's going to take you, or she's going to take you through this doorway into a viewing room, like a little cinema room. Everything is cozy, everything is safe. You can walk in and adjust the lighting until the lighting is comfortable. And you'll notice that there is a 3-seater settee in one part of the room, and on the opposite wall is a flat screen TV. Underneath that flat screen TV is a DVD player. And so you notice these things, and you can go and sit in the middle of the sofa. It's a nice, big, comfortable sofa. And the mentor can sit to one side of you. And then if you'd like, just invite a guardian angel to come and sit with you on the other side. You're going to be totally safe here as you view on the screen an old scene that previously scared you, caused you to shut down. Something that hurt you, some trauma, some injury, some time in the past when something happened that really upset you. But you're going to be safe here on the sofa, watching from a distance. You're in complete control of how this works out, how this plays out. And so first, you can adjust the qualities of the screen. You can push this further away from you. You can make the screen smaller or larger. You can make the images that come up on it in color or black and white. You can make them even defocused or focused, whichever changes you need to make here until your body feels comfortable. Do that. Make the screen the right size, the right distance, and then whatever's coming up, black and white or color, contrast, saturation, you can adjust those. Focus, defocus. Great. Just make those adjustments. And then, just so you're super safe here, you can bring a crystal dome and let the crystal dome be all over the three of you on the sofa. It envelops all of you, reaches right the way down to the ground. And the crystal dome is a device that only allows positivity through it. Anything else just bounces off. Anything negative bounces off the outside of the dome. You can see through it clearly, and it's a protective device, so you are entirely safe here. And then you'll notice that the mentor has in her or his hand a box containing a DVD. On this DVD is memory, or maybe memories, of a time when you got scared and you shut down, you reacted against life, you braced, you knee-jerk reacted maybe. Sometime when you got hurt emotionally. Sometime when maybe you decided to shut down emotionally. There's some memory of some old upset. And so letting the mentor slip underneath the crystal dome and go over to the DVD player that's underneath the TV screen and pop the DVD disc into the player. And the mentor comes back underneath the dome, sits to your side, and hands you a remote control device. So you're in complete charge of how this plays out. So as you sit here watching the screen, it may be a memory you know, and that's fine. It may be a memory that you don't know yet, and that's fine too. It's all on the DVD disc. Maybe a memory from long ago, maybe even from childhood. Who knows? And so first of all, what you do is you press the power button, so you power everything up. The DVD player, the television screen begins to light up. And then you hit the fast play button. And looking at the screen, you open to witness what took place in this old memory as it plays out double time from beginning right to the end. That's it, right to the end. Where is this? When is this? How old are you? What took place here? What hurt was here? What scared you? What upset you? You watch from the safety of this sofa, sitting with the guardian angel, with the mentor behind this crystal dome. Let it play out once right to the end. And then what you're going to do is toggle the fast reverse and fast forward buttons. As you watch the screen and see what happens, every time you press these buttons, it speeds up the response. So you press backwards, it goes backwards, double time. You press fast forwards, 4 times the speed, and then backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards every time with increasing speed. So you go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, backwards, forwards, back, both back, both back, both back, both back, both back, both back, back, both back, back, both back, 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 until it turns into a complete blur. And then you pause. And now for this scene, this is the part that I need your permission to use some humor with. And so, as you look at the screen, just imagine dressing everyone in this old scene up in really silly, funny clothes. They could be like cartoon outfits or cross-dressing outfits or just really incongruous outfits where people just look ridiculous. So you could give them big sticky-up ears, you can give them big googly eyes, silly wigs, silly hats, buck teeth maybe, carrot noses, whatever you can do to make everyone, including yourself, look ridiculous. Dress them up in silly clothes, fancy shoes, everything until everyone looks really horrendously silly. Just really, really funny. Great. And then look at the environment and change the environment into really kind of like bouncy material. So it could be like bouncy castle material. It could be sponge cake, latex, rubber, this type of thing. Anything that you just bounce off it. Anything that is just like straight out of a very, very funny cartoon. So change the environment now. Beautiful. Okay, cool. And now next thing, you give everyone balloons containing helium. So they all breathe in helium. So they're going to end up speaking like Minnie Mouse. Someone with a very high, squeaky voice like this. Okay, they've breathed in the helium, so whatever is said here is going to be said with a high, squeaky falsetto voice. And then last thing, we're going to play some cartoon music, some very silly cartoon music to overlay everything, as we do the same thing with the forwards and backwards buttons. So we're going to go forwards and backwards with everyone dressed up in this ridiculous way, with the environment changed in these silly ways, everyone having breathed in helium, and some very silly music going on in the background. So you press the forwards and backwards button, and let's see what happens. You go forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards. People eat their words as they go backwards. They're speaking with a high squeaky voice, and there's some music that goes, yes, forwards, backwards, 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 forwards, back, forwards, backwards, 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 everything happening in ridiculously humorous fashion. Forwards, back, forwards, back, forward, 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 back, until it turns into a complete blur. Beautiful. Okay, great job. So that'll have really scratched the record of old memory that's here. And so for the moment, you can let the younger you in ordinary clothes step down off the screen and come over to join you on the sofa for a moment. The younger you can get underneath that crystal dome and come and sit next to you. And you can ask the younger you, or ask the mentor, what emotional resources would the younger you have needed at that time for that old memory to have played out much more healthily, much more beneficially, in a much more empowering way, in a way that was healthier on every level. And then let the mentor give you some advice. What's needed here? The knowledge of your own safety and survival, the knowledge of who you truly are, the love inside, the ability to communicate, the ability to say no. What is it? What emotional resources would the younger you have needed? A sense of your own destiny, courage, the ability to communicate creatively, sense of humor, whatever it is for you. Name those resources. Whisper them out here. And then hand the younger you a huge bouquet of colorful balloons. Each of those balloons contains one of these emotional resources. The resources that would have allowed that old scene to have played out entirely differently in positive ways, much more beneficially back then. And then the younger you can breathe in each of these resources, breathing them all in, feeling those resources flood through the body of the younger you, saturating every cell. And then empowered with these resources, letting the younger you go back underneath that crystal dome, climb back up onto the screen. And while you sit and watch, just play the scene normal speed one more time, the way it would have played out if you'd had access to these resources at that time. Let the scene play out normal speed, the way it would have played out back then, with access to all these fresh resources. See the differences. Feel the differences. How differently does this play out? Beautiful. Just watch it right to the end. How different does that feel? Maybe actions are different, maybe responses are different. The result is you feel differently about it. Beautiful. And then you can simply allow the screen to disappear. Turning off the power, goes blank. Screen itself disappears. Asking the mentor to lift the crystal dome off you. And as you stand up, you can thank the guardian angel that was here as a protective presence. And you can allow the mentor to walk you back through the doorway when you first came in, and allow the whole room to disappear. It's just you and the mentor. And asking the mentor if she or he has any words of wisdom, any words of advice here for you. If so, let those be spoken now. Drink them in. Thank the mentor. And bid the mentor farewell. Let her or him disappear into the light of all awareness. And then you can allow your awareness to come back to the room in which you're sitting. Feeling the weight of your body as it sits in the chair, getting reoriented. Taking a nice long deep breath in and letting it all the way out. And the second great big long deep breath in and sigh it all the way out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. Thank you for playing along. Just check with your body here. How does your body feel at the moment? What shifts are taking place? What different energy is here? Take a few minutes to come around, and then if you fancy a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a glass of water, please do that in ease. Just take it easy for a little while until your body reorientates, and then enjoy the results as you move forward. Thanks and bye for now.